What's going on, everybody? We're here, back with a brand new episode of Umineko When They Cry. Last time on, we saw Battler getting a little bit tipsy within the dining room as he has lost all hope in trying to defeat against Beatrice. But thankfully, Genji comes in and takes Master Battler to Kinzo's study, in which Kinzo and Beatrice are having a nice little game of chess. And during the intermarry, between scenes, Beatrice explains everything to Battler, and Battler becomes a piece of furniture to Beatrice, in which she hosts a magnificent party to all the demons of hell in the Ushiro Mirror Manor, in which both poor Kinzo and poor Battler are both dined on by the beloved goat heads of the demons. Meanwhile, Rosa and Maria go back to the chapel in order for Rosa to pick up one of the golden ingot bars, which is very interesting to know. But they both are too eaten by the demon heads as they fight for one last time to say basically fuck you to Beatrice, but it is in vain. In the after party, we see Rosa's poor hell, aka purgatory, with Beatrice quite literally feeding her the souls of her siblings and eventually Maria herself. But thankfully, Battler comes in and denies Beatrice's existence once more, as he is once again refueled by the anger and spite he feels for Beatrice for all the horrible torture she puts them through. In the witches' after party, we see Ramidella finally appear before Beatrice in Burncastle, and she acts very much like a young Takano, and also Sadako too, a little bit of mix of both of them, which is actually interesting to point out, because in Higurashi, Takano and Sadako are very similar, both in backstory and kind of personality in a couple ways. Like, both Takano and Sadako are kind of that tsundere archetype in anime and all that. But they also are similar in their backstories, in which they were both horribly abused as children. And as we saw with Takano, how it led to her becoming the person she became. But both with Sadako and with Takano, they had a white in their wife, be it with Satoshi for Sadako, and be it Takano's grandfather, Hifumi? No, I can't remember his name at this moment. But they both had a white within their wives. And, they both... God damn it, this opening. I wish I could turn it off. I really do, but unfortunately I can't. But anyway, Sadako and Takano are very similar, both in backstory and personality, which makes sense that Ramidella is kind of a fusion between the two within this kind of witch's this persona of a witch, and all that. Anyway, Burncastle pretty much encourages us to keep going, and also Ramidella gives us a little bit of insight into Beatrice's sort of strategy, in which is heavily implied that Beatrice wants to have a game, which I've been theorizing about for a while now, is that Beatrice wants to have a game because she doesn't want to die of boredom, aka lose consciousness, stop thinking, or whatever. And the reason why she did the whole thing with Rosa and feeding her siblings and all that was to gesture to Battler in order to encourage Battler to fight against her. Beatrice wants this game. She wants this battle of the minds between the two of them. She needs this for probably just for the sake of killing time, perhaps, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's something else. Or whatever. There was a couple of good comments from last time. A lot of comments. A lot to go through. But one of them reminded me that Rosa was at the chapel during the scene before episode 2, before everyone died, all the adults. Rosa was in the chapel with them, which I completely forgotten about, or I completely didn't even consider at the time for whatever reason, because there is so much detail in this fucking game that even the major obvious ones I'm going to it's going to fly over my head because I'm considering something else. But that's a very important thing to make note of, is that Rosa was at the chapel. So I have a major theory. But before I get to that major theory, I want to discuss the individual murders that happened in episode 2, or the individual mysteries. Let's start with the first one, the case of the locked chapel. What I believed is the person who got the key from Maria's handbag would be Rosa. Because we know for a fact Rosa saw Beatrice give Maria the letter, and it would make sense that Rosa would be the only one to know about that key, which maybe Beatrice, sent her off in order to get the key, which I'll come back to that here in a little bit, why Rosa did that. The second one would be the case of Jessica being murdered. Was it Goda or Kumasawa that did it? I like to believe, or I think, the only person it could be Goda, is because I think it makes a little bit more sense than Kumasawa, since the next murder is literally Kumasawa and Nanjo who get murdered next. I know Goda still gets killed as well, but I don't know. That's the only person that would make sense to kill Jessica would be Goda. Not via motive or anything, but it's just pure happenstance. He was the closest one there. So I think Goda killed Jessica. The next two murders was probably by Genji. By the way, I'm not mentioning anything about motive because I have no idea what motive there would be behind all these murders. So I'm not even going to mention any of that. I'm just going to look at the base facts. What the people were there and why, or not why they did it, but how it happened. So Nanjo and Kumasawa were probably murdered by Genji. Then the murder of George, Shannon, and Goda is a pretty hard one. Honestly, it was probably the human Beatrice or something like that. I don't know how, but that's the only person that would make sense that isn't connected. Or maybe it was Rosa. Ooh, it could have been Rosa. That could make... Well, why would she leave Maria away? Anyway. Maybe it was Rosa, maybe it was Beatrice. I don't know about that one. Okay. So go into my major theory. I've been cooking up. So, in the after party, in the tea party, Beatrice mentions a deal. While Rosa is still trying to get used to being in purgatory and all that. Beatrice is talking about some type of deal they could have made. So, let's see what happened. Let's look at the events of episode 2. Rosa's in the chapel with the rest of her siblings, and they all probably die. All of their roulette numbers come up, except for Rosa's. After all the siblings are killed by Beatrice, Rosa decides to make a deal with Beatrice to get the gold bars, get the gold ingots, since all the siblings need that money. So she makes a deal with Beatrice, in which, well, no. I think the deal would have been made before they went to the chapel, in order to make sense of why Rosa got Maria's key from her bag or whatever. That would make the most sense of when they made that deal. So the deal between Beatrice and Rosa would be to get the gold ingots, obviously. Which, ties back in with, at the end of the episode, Rosa getting one of the gold ingots for, just pure monetary reasons. I don't know. I guess, yeah, it would make so much more sense of why Rosa would continue to deny the existence of the Beatrice so strongly throughout the entire episode of episode 2. of like, no way it's Beatrice. It has to be a human. It has to be. It's like one of those things of like people just denying like reality sometimes, you know, because Rosa was so like fervent on it being a human. Like, it has to be a human. It has to be a human. Even though she was at the chapel and saw Beatrice do whatever Beatrice did to prove herself as a witch. Now, I feel like this ties in with episode 1. My theory in episode 1 is that Rudolph was behind it. Because, remember, I'll fucking remember this line till the day I'm dead. Rudolph said that he thinks that tonight he would die in episode 1. I think Rudolph also made a deal with Beatrice. I think the theme of all these episodes, of at least the question arcs, these 4 episodes, there's 4 siblings. What if, in each episode, a single sibling makes a deal with Beatrice? Episode 1 would be Rudolph making a deal with Beatrice. Second episode, Rosa. Third episode, who knows? Fourth episode, who knows? Qualis, sorry. No, Ava. But I feel like that's going to be the thing that connects all of these episodes together. Is that each of the siblings makes a deal with Beatrice in order to get the gold ingots. Gold bars. Let me just call it gold bars. They just need the gold bars because they need the money really, really bad. And so they decide, just like their grandfather, or just like their father, they make a deal with the devil. And all that. I'm really confident in this theory. Like, I'm not like 100% sure, but I'm really confident, like, this makes a lot of sense. Of how Beatrice is able to manifest even more and more. Because as we saw at the beginning of episode 2, Beatrice still makes deals. I mean, she still made a deal with Shannon in order to get closer to George, and, you know, Beatrice gave her the brooch and all that. And so, yeah, that's my grand theory. That each of these question episodes, each of the Ushiro Mira siblings are going to make a deal with Beatrice in order to get money. Or to get the gold bars, specifically. And also, another thing would be, like, why is Rudolph dead, then, in episode 1? I think the deal isn't... The rules of the roulette don't exclude the deal. Like, you could still die if your number comes up on the roulette wheel. So, like, well, Rudolph got fucked over by the roulette wheel. Well, here in episode 2, Rosa didn't get fucked over by the roulette wheel, and she was able to get the gold bar. Ingot. Why can I not say that word? So, yeah. That's my major theory of, you know, the siblings are going to make the deal with Beatrice throughout all these episodes. And also, another comment told me that I should check out the characters in the magic side, or the witch side. Here we go. Oh my god. Wow, holy shit, that is a lot. Damn. We're really all just recolors of the same fucking, these goddamn stakes. Alright, let's take a look at these. A self-taught human mage. His natural talent and level of knowledge are nothing special, but when his nearly insane powers of concentration and dedication were transformed to magical power, he awakened as a great mage. His power is at least great enough that he was able to summon Beatrice and form a contract with her. Though his power is great, it is also extremely lopsided. In particular, he specializes in summoning and barriers, so perhaps it is fitting to call him a summoner instead. Huh. Summon Beatrice and form a contract with her. An unfortunate young man to whom Beatrice has taken a liking, the human who inherited the black blood from Kinzo, inherited the massive resistance to magical power that Kinzo was born with. Ironically, it was this trait that made it so hard for Kinzo to succeed as a mage. Massive magic defense can be an ace in the hole for a battle against a witch. Kinzo has begun to lose this power with age, but Battler's power is still on the rise. Perhaps it's understandable why Beatrice tried to crush it as soon as possible. Oh. Interesting. Okay. Maria. A little mage who has inherited the black blood from Kinzo. Unlike Kinzo, she was gifted with natural talent and began to treat the path of the mage while still young. That said, her power is still weak and she is no more than an apprentice. However, she is skilled with enchantments, which bestow magical power upon objects, and the magical items she creates compete with those of the Nizer class. Okay, interesting, Genji. Ginzo's earliest furniture, which he created to serve him and him alone with complete loyalty. Created, damn. Though he was Kinzo's first creation, he was made with the help of a high-class demon, so though there were several flaws in his initial specs, he concealed a great potential within himself. In the many years following that, he began to mature and compensate for his many deficiencies, turning himself into the nearly flawless butler furniture that he is now. He is approaching the limit of his service life, but the magical power he can unleash for an instant rivals Kinzo's. Shannon is Kinzo's handmade furniture in the purest sense, which he created without borrowing the power of demons. Though there were problems with several of her initial specs, she was given a very rare and precious thing, a heart. It seemed that, as a result of his long personal experience, Kinzo came to believe that the power created by the heart contains within it a strong magic. In the lengthy span of time following that, she began to mature, becoming exceptionally skilled with power of a protective or repulsive nature, such as magical barriers. Okay. Because of this, in the realm of barriers alone, she possesses an immense mage-class level of power. Well, we saw that. The last furniture created by Kinzo thus far. Making use of all of his previous experience, Kinzo managed to implement a set of flawless specs. Cannon was also given a heart, but it was much weaker than Shannon's. Perhaps because Kinzo felt a sense of approaching personal danger related to his fortune as he neared the end of his life, he bestowed Cannon with the rare powerful to fight and protect. However, he hasn't yet matured very far and is unable to control his own power and speed. The Seven Sisters of Purgatory, eldest sister Lucifer, advanced level furniture created by Beatrice, can move of her own accord but cannot disobey her summoner's orders. Possesses significant power even in human form, but her terrifying full potential is truly unleashed only upon returning to her original form as one of the seven stakes of Purgatory and soaring at the enemy at high speeds. Haughty and arrogant, but actually feels pleasure from submission. Leviathan, can move her corn. Human port. Nothing but a jealous crybaby. She'll do whatever it takes to get what she wants. Satan, okay. Really grumpy, but actually wants others to get angry with her. Alright, we got Belphegor. Thoughtful and hardworking. Because of this, she corrupts her masters. Okay. Mammoth. Really greedy. When she decides she wants something, she will sacrifice anything and everything to get it. Okay. Beelzebub. In fact, Orkrome would use any ingredient to make a good meal, even her own body. And Asmodeus. At that age, when she wants a boyfriend, she would give up her wife for love. So we got the 7 dwarves here. Huh. Wow. This is a lot to consider. Huh. Okay. So that's actually interesting to note. So, okay. God. Jesus. Wow, this game really does have two sides to it. We have the mystery part and the fucking magic part. Like, jeez, okay. So the only free furnitures Kinzo created was Genji, Shannon, and Cannon, which are the only three we saw magical... Did we see magical powers from Genji? Maybe we did. It's been a while. So it's only those three that are, like, the most personal to Kinzo. Huh. Interesting. So they're kind of like golems, or, yeah, golems would work here. Huh. He was given a heart. So the black blood from Kinzo is born with. Interesting. Black blood that denies, like, magic, I guess. I guess because, like, we had once said back in episode 1 of, like, only people who are able to, you know, are on the same wavelength as a witch can see them. And all that. Huh. This is, I don't know what to make of this, honestly. Like, probably already read both these. Yeah. Alright, how about we actually get into the episode? Is there anything else I want to mention? The magic thing. Oh, another thing someone pointed out was back in Higurashi where, Takano made a deal with God when she was young of, like, strike me down with lightning or else you have to give me fortune, in which she gained fortune. Medela, whenever she appears, there's an explosion that marks her entrance, which is actually very interesting to consider, and the goddamn opening movie. One more time. But yeah, I think that's everything. God damn, it's been 20 minutes. Let's actually get into the episode, shall we? Alright, good morning. This is a surprise. This is a surprise that even now you do not surrender. The Golden Witch has exceedingly high expectations of you. Have you perhaps also come to realize the structure of this world? There can be no victory without knowing the rules. Please enjoy a hearty game with the witch. The difficulty level is fair. It's fair for you and fair for the witch. Alright. Let's finally get into it. Banquet of the Golden Witch. Alright, let's see where we start off. The story is undoubtedly nothing more than fantasy. Here we are at a chapel. No, a school. Or perhaps this is the academy they mentioned last time that raised both Shannon and Canon. The vase was very beautiful, rich with history and value. Even as young as I was, it still forced me to take a deep breath when I witnessed its beauty. Of course, it was a member of Grandfather's favorite collection, so that I didn't accidentally destroy its fragile beauty. I was always given strict orders never to touch it, but that just made me want to touch it. It looked white and yet so elegant that just glancing at it gave it an indescribable sense of dignity. I wanted to see what it felt like to touch a vase like that. However, just as Grandfather had said, it was a thing that shouldn't be touched. Something this beautiful should never be touched. Such beauty can only dwell in something so easily broken. Because of that, just a brush of a finger by someone like me would. Just how a fun dream disappears with a poof when you wake up. It disappeared, fell, and broke into pieces. I realized that, because of my own foolish curiosity, I had done something that couldn't be taken back. No matter how much I regretted it, no matter how much I apologized, the broken vase would not be returned to its original form. Grandfather would probably scold me. Probably a very harsh way. I ended up breaking into tears and sobbing, frightened. As I did, I noticed something beautiful. White dainty golden butterflies were coming towards me. These goddamn butterflies. As mysteriously glowing golden dots shone in the air, the butterflies began to gather, one at a time. Oh, it's Beatrice. Beatrice, that reliable golden witch, had arrived. I wonder if this is Maria. Who the fuck is this? The butterflies kept gathering until they formed a cloud, and then she was there. Who the hell? She was always there for me. Whenever I was in trouble, she'd always appear and save me.
ごきげんよう、お姫様。
What?
うな絶好のお茶会日和にどうして姫様はそのように涙をこぼされているのですか？
Dude, the more and more I get into this game, the more my mind is cracking.
おじいさまが大切にしていた壺を壊してしまったの。おじいさまに怒られます。どうしたらいいかわからなくて。
それは困りましたね。これはお館様が大層お気に入りになられていた壺のはず。どのような折檻があるか、このベアトリーチェ想像するのも恐ろしゅうございます。
What? Grandfather was a very frightening person. When he failed to follow something he said even once, he would become so mad with a rage that would make even the fallen angels in hell quiver. Since I knew that down to my bones, I couldn't do anything but tremble and cry.
こぼしてしまった姫様の涙を救う魔法は持ち合わせておりませんが、姫様がお館様から折檻を受けなくて済むようにする魔法ならなんとかなるかもしれません。
本当？
姫様が私の力をお信じくださればでございます。
Believe, huh?
魔法の力の根源は信じる力。
Called it.
奇跡はそれを強く信じる者の前にしか示されません。
Well, I mean, I did play Higurashi before this, so, you know, I did have a wake up.
信じる。ベアトリーチェの魔法を信じます。だからこの壺を直してください。お願いします。
姫様がそれをお望みでしたら、それではこのベアトリーチェにお任せを。
When she extended her index finger, a golden butterfly softly landed there and changed its form into her favorite cane. But even that was enough to give me a small glimpse at Beatrice's wonderful and awesome magic power. She pointed her cane at the broken vase, and just like a child's lullaby, she began speaking the magic words.
さあさあ、目を閉じてごらんなさい。そして思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。それはきっととてもとても美しい姿。どうか私にあの姿をもう一度見せておくれ。
Were they words or was it a song? No, it had to be magic. After all, can't you see? The pieces of the vase are rapidly gathering together. Can we returning to the place where they've been on display, resembling into the original form?
すごい。
ほら、これで元通りですよ。これでお館様にお叱りを受けずに済みますね。
I...
ベアトリーチェはすごいね。
Why the fuck are we like in Hogwarts? Like, God, I know I've said this multiple times, but it feels like I'm in a different fucking game. Like, what the hell?
壊れた壺を直すなんて造作もないんだね。
そんなことはありませんよ。壊れてしまったものを元に戻すのはとてもとても難しいことです。私の魔法は一時それを思い出させるだけに過ぎませんよ。
God, and I thought Higurashi was a story that could bring out anything, and I would fucking... God, no, literally, in this game, it's literally like, anything can fucking happen. Like, anything can actually happen. Like,
ちゃんと元通りになったよ。
そうですね。ですがそれは壺が壊れたという運命を回避させたわけではありません。壊れた壺に一時壊れる前の姿を思い出させるだけに過ぎません。壊れた運命を元の姿に修復するほどの魔力はこのベアトリーチェにも未だ至らぬ遥かな高みなのです。
A broken fate, huh? At that time, the high-pitched scream of a certain servant could be heard from inside the mansion. When I went to see what had happened, I noticed that several of the servants had gathered and were cleaning up the remnants of the broken vase. From what they said, it seemed a black cat had sneaked in from somewhere and had climbed up on the vase, causing it to break. I understood the meaning of Beatrice's words. At the moment I broke the vase was broken. Beatrice let me see the vase being restored, but that was a temporary thing. It didn't mean she changed the fate of the vase being broken. And so the vase remembered its true fate and broke. However, the one who broke it wasn't me, but a cat that snuck in. Interesting. Huh. So in this... Okay. So is that implying the incident at Ushiro Mira, at Wokenjima, actually, is the fate is everyone dies. Everyone dies. But through these different episodes, we keep seeing the different ways, different methods of those people arriving at that same fate. Be it with episode 1, in which the parents die in the shed. Be it with episode 2, with a chapel instead. So, how does the roulette come into this? If their fates are to be dead, I guess it's just random when they die? It doesn't matter, they are going to die. It's just mere randomness of a roulette of when they die. Huh. Okay. That's right. Beatrice never said what's fixed the vase. She said to prevent the master from scolding me. The fate of the vase breaking hasn't changed, but the fact that I broke it certainly has. Beatrice cleverly saved me from danger with that magic.
物を壊すことはとても容易なことです。姫様が壺を割るのに魔法を必要としなかったように。
直すことはとても難しいこと？
Turn that face into a bunch of fragments, huh?
はい。姫様が途方に暮れて泣き出してしまうほどに。
魔法というのは恐ろしいことをする時の方がたやすいの？壊したり殺したりすることは簡単にできるのに、直したり蘇らせたりするのはとても難しいというし。
そうですね。魔法は殺めたり壊したりすることの方がとても簡単です。故に誘惑に負ける弱き魔女たちは安易に身につけられる力に酔い、本当の魔法の修行を怠ってしまいます。本当の魔法とは治す力、蘇らせる力、散ってしまった幸せを呼び戻し、冷めてしまった愛をも呼び戻す。そして微笑を忘れてしまった姫様の顔に笑顔を呼び戻せるのですよ。
なら壺を直すことができたベアトリーチェはすごい魔女ということ？
I know what the hell the twist at the end of the scene is going to be. We're from the perspective of the Beatrice we know. I just know it. It has to be.
私などまだまだ修行の日々ですよ。壺が割れるという運命を私の魔法では ほんの1時間も忘れさせることができなかったのですから。私に魔法を教えてくれたお師匠様ならきっと永遠に壺を元の姿によみがえらせることができたでしょうね。
壊れても壊れても何度でも何度でも直せる？
ええ。その境地に達した時、無限の魔力が備わるでしょう。
An endless witch.
それこそが魔女の達するべき無限の境地。私たちはその魔女を最大の敬いをもってこう呼びます。
無限の魔女。
そうです。無限に治す力を持つ魔女にとって壊れるという概念はもはや存在しない。失うというすべての悲しみから解放され、永遠の至福を約束されるのです。
Certainly, the human world is full of sadness caused by separation and loss. To escape that sadness, people pray to God and ask for the power to withstand their sadness, believing it to be a test. In other words, a human's life is a journey, searching for a way to withstand sadness. In that case, a witch who could revive all things would be freed from all sadness in the world. Simply put, that would mean eternal bliss.
私もベアトリーチェみたいな魔女になって永遠に幸せになれるかな？
姫様がですか？それは長い大変な修行となりますよ。
私魔女になりたい。幸せになりたい。ベアトリーチェの弟子になりたい。
そのお気持ちにいささかの揺らぎもありませんか？
はい、私も魔女になりたいです。
わかりました。では姫様がお飽きになるまで私の弟子にして差し上げましょう。私のことをお師匠様と呼べますか？
はい、お師匠様。
良い返事ですね。ではこれからは私と一緒に魔法の深淵を学んでいきましょう。私とって修行の身、共に魔法を正しく学び、至福の境地を目指して頑張りましょう。
はい、お師匠。
Huh. Huh. Meanwhile, in Purgatory.
Yume. 懐かしい顔だ。
An endless witch, was it? That rank I yearned for in the past as the highest possible achievement was not just another one of my titles. No, you might even call it my calling card.
たまにはその呼び名に充足を感じるのはおつなものかもしれない。
So you stole that name, huh?
長き修行の日々の果てに得たものではないか。たまにはありがたみを感じれば少々もったいないというのに。
She shook her head widely. If it's the highest possible level, then that means there's nothing higher. An eternal dead end, the beginning of eternal boredom.
お師匠様は言っていた。すべての悲しみから解き放たれることが、すなわち永遠の至福だ。 から故にお師匠様はその域に至れなかった。
Eternal bliss means eternal boredom, and that's the beginning of eternal torture. But it all depends on how you look at it. Eternal boredom is the same as a sketchbook that doesn't run out of pages. It means you can draw whatever you want, can try to have as much fun as you want. Boredom is the worst sort of poison, which kills all witches. Even those great witches who are given the title Lady fear it. It's the eternal poison that tortures them because of the eternal bliss they've reached.
無限の魔女の名を得た今だからこそ再びお師匠様と語らいたいもの。我らの修行の果てにあった本当に幸せだった。そして本当の幸せとは何なのか、今こそ語り合いたいものよ。
Training has no end. When you think you've reached the eternal level, that's exactly the time to bemoan your own immaturity. I recalled those words as though she answered me directly. That's a good word to describe you, Beatrice. You even stole her fashion sense, you bitch. The sound of painfully shrill laughter rang out. It was coming from my furniture. Wait, did they break their toy again?
ベアトリーチェ様、こいつまた動かなくなっちゃいました。
Oh boy.
まだ私全然遊び足りないのに情けない男。私なんか全然遊んでないのに、私にも遊ばせて遊ばせて。
お黙りなさい、クズどもが。お前たちが飢えた犬みたいにがっつくから、いくらベアトリーチェ様が直してもすぐ壊しちゃうのよ。
サタン姉が一番壊してるよ。加減を知らないから。
申し訳ございません、ベアトリーチェ様。グマイどもをどうかお許しください。
早くこいつを直して。次は私、次は私。
静かにせぬか、やかましい。
The single yell was all it took to make the noisy sisters of the Seven Stakes vanish. All they do is mess around, having as much fun as they want breaking him. They only come to me to clean up afterwards. Truly, this furniture never leaves me bored. Once the furniture hid themselves, all that remained was a sloppy mess, the last remnants of broken toy. It had no form anymore.
このざまでは、わらわとて元の姿を思い出すのも難しい。当の本人に思い出させるのが一番か。やれやれ。
I waved my golden pipe. Then I spoke. I chanted. I made it remember.
さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。何しろわらわには今のそなたは肉の残骸の山にしか見えぬのでな。どれが腕やら足やら見当もつかぬ。 そなたが思い出してくれなければ、わらわにはそなたの面影も思い出せぬ。
So who's this poor son of a bitch, huh? By the power of magic, the pitiful pieces of meat began to remember what their form had been. Which part should go with which part, and where should join with where. That's right, just like that. No, it should be a finger in the left hand. That's the right hand. That's it, good.
おはよう。目が覚めたか？
Yeah, I should have
後ろ
known.
宮バートラー。もっとも目が覚めた方が悪夢の中とは実に皮肉な話だがな。わらわを魔女と認めさえすれば、すぐにそなたの悪夢を覚まし、わらわこそは煉獄山の王。わらわの許しなしにこの地獄より抜け出す方法はないのだ。
この程度で地獄かよ。ダメだな。ああ、全然ダメだぜ。
人ならば一度しか味わわずに済む死の苦しみを、もう両手の指では数えきれぬほど与えられたというのによ。だからこそ飽きぬ。そなたには飽きぬのよ。
ああ、全然飽きねえぜ。何しろ太ももの眩しいバインバインの姉ちゃんたちがよりどりみどりのハーレム状態なんだからよ。
Oh, Bador, you son of a bitch.
おかげさまでまるで退屈しねえぜ。
それはよかった。そうでなくてはわらわも退屈だ。それ、家具ども直してやったぞ。また存分に遊ぶがよい。
ありがとうございます。
Alright, Battleward, this is round 568. No, 5,768. You got this.
私がいただき。だからあんたは終わりよ、終わり。次は私なの。どきなさいよ。素敵よね、バトラ君。モテモテじゃない。
モテる男は辛いぜ。畜生ども、順番に並びやがらったんだ。
虚勢など張らずに素直になればもっと楽になれるのに。
いいのよ、これで。その方が悲鳴が気持ちいいもの。
さあ、今度は簡単に壊すんじゃないわよ。いいわね、返事は。あんたが仕切るんじゃないわよ。さあ、バトラク、さっきの続きよ。マスターキーでジェシカちゃんの部屋を施錠した後、どうやって室内の死体のポケットに鍵を戻したというの？
Ah, son of a bitch.
例えばよ、そうさ、釣り糸か何かを使って鍵だけを扉の隙間から室内に戻して。
甘いな。六軒島に存在するすべての扉は鍵が通り抜けられる隙間などない。
外れたね、外れたね。さあ、今度は私よ、私の番なのよ。どこを貫いちゃおうかな。
Oh god, it's fucking true for false question, Jesus.
私、手の甲。 ずるい。じゃあ反対の手のこう。
私は花の頭をもらっちゃおっと。
Jesus. Ooh.
なんで私にもやらせて、私にも貫かせて。
I have to say, this is a very accurate visualization of me coming up with my theories in the comments, dismantling them. I'm just joking, by the way. That's such a funny fucking image. This is Chewy me having all my poor theories just be fucking dismantled in the comments.
レビアネーはトロいのよ。いつだって私たちは早い者勝ちでしょうが。じゃあ私は足の甲をいただいちゃおっと。
私は肩をもらっちゃうからいいもん。
Jesus.
姉妹なんだろ。仲良くしやがるってんだ。
But like with Battle War, even though all my answers get dismantled, I still keep coming back.
ほう、よくも耐えるものだな。お前のその痩せ我慢がむしろ私たちを楽しませているだけだとなぜ気づかない。
あいにくだな。痩せ我慢と肘の張り合いは俺のお箱なんだ。
Goddamn right, Battle War.
お前らがどう俺を煙に巻こうとも、俺は絶対に魔女も魔法も認めねえ。
Yep.
人間とトリックで何も説明できないくせにバッカじゃないの。この身の程知らずが。いいのよ、無理に認めさせなくても。今に泣きながら認めたくなるわ。今だって本当は哀れに土下座しながら許しを請いたいくせに。
Jesus.
もう壊しちゃった。ベアトリーチェ様。
やれやれ、わらわがいくらでも蘇らせられることを知っているから過去を待ったもの。
Good grief. Giving eternal rebirth and eternal death at will. Before the end was witch Beatrice, all death in life has no meaning. Even death can't become the key to escape from my cage.
さあバトラー、再び元の姿を思い出すがいい。何度でももてあそんでやるぞ。なるほどなるほど、永久に遊べる玩具とは実に愉快よ。なるほどな。これが無限の境地に至った魔女が得る至福の境地とやらなのか。
Yeah, once you look at that, it's eternal torture of someone
な
else.
るほどなるほど。これは確かに愉快で至福だ。何度でも蘇らせてやる。何度でも殺してやる。さて次なるゲーム版ではどのような殺人劇を繰り広げよう。さあ新しきゲーム版を持て。次なるゲームを始めようではないか。後ろ宮バトラー。
Ah, shit, here we go again. Yeah, can't skip it still, but how about we just cut this out? God. Poor Badwer, unable to answer the questions given to him because he has jack shit to deal with. I understand that pain, Badwer. I understand it, man. I've been through it. I'm going through it. I'm trying to figure this fucking mindfuck of a story. Like, absolute mindfuck. Alright. Days as a young girl. Alright. 1986. Well, this looks familiar.
やれやれ姉貴のタバコ嫌いにも参ったすまんな夕べからカリカリしとるんや気にせんでやってくれんか
Rudolph and Hideyoshi went out onto the deck and took out some cigarettes. Ava had always hated the smell of cigarettes, but when she was in a bad mood, she got even more sensitive to them. And they decided to smoke casually until they reached the island. The two of them had gotten yelled at and chased out onto the deck. Hideyoshi tried to use his water, but the strong winds gave him some trouble. Rudolph took out a Zippo with a smooth gesture and let Hideyoshi borrow the flame.
秀吉兄さんはいつ頃からタバコ
戦後すぐや最初はタバコを転がしとってな自分の売り物に手をつけてしまったわけや
じゃあ姉貴と会った時にはもう吸ってたわけだ姉貴には随分やめろやめろと言われたでしょ
わしが聞く耳持たんもんだからあれももうすっかり諦めよったやはり男は強情でなくてはあかんな
Gotta smoke them cigarettes. Hideyoshi laughed heartily, but Rudolph snickered. After being scolded by Eva, they skipped to the deck together with their tails behind between the legs. There was little doubt who had gotten her way in that exchange.
普段はあそこまで短気じゃないんやいや普段はもっと温和なおとなしい女なんやで毎年毎年この日になると人が変わりよるんや
Maybe this episode is about how Ava deals with Beatrice. Maybe.
そうなんですか
Maybe it's Hideyoshi. Maybe.
俺らがよく知る昔からの姉貴そのものに見えますがね
そうや後ろ宮家のエヴァに戻るんやでもそれはわしと一緒のエヴァとは違うんや
まあカリカリする気持ちもわかります今回の親族会議は面倒だ
Ain't that the truth?
そうやなあのクラウス兄さんから金を脅し取ろうっちゅう計画や親族会議なんて名ばかりのこれはただの兄弟喧嘩や
Before the family conference, three of the siblings had made a secret pact without Kraus. They were all facing urgent situations and needed a lot of money fast. You know, the only one that could turn to was Kraus, who spoke for the usual mirror head now that Kinzo spent his time shut up in the study. For a long time now, they vaguely sensed that Kraus was taking advantage of the fact that Kinzo had lost interest in his own wealth, and they suspected that he started embezzling that wealth to suit his own purposes. Despite being disgusted by this, they turned a blind eye to it while everything was still going smoothly for them. But now that they needed money, they really couldn't afford to let it slide. Ava had asked Rudolph and Wilson to form an alliance, and they were now scheming to take that money away from Kraus.
わしもそしてルドルフ君も社長や社員の生活を背負っとる身や
ローザも社長ですよま道楽ですね
そうやな失礼
Huh.
つまりわしらは誰もが背負うものを持っとるっちゅうことや
俺も幹部連中の前で単価を切った以上、土下座して泥をすすってでも金を引っ張ってこなきゃならない。
お互い様や。わしもわしを信じてついてきてくれた社員たちを裏切れん。それこそクラウス兄さんの首根っこを掴んででも金を引っ張り出さんといかんのや。
姉貴は昔っから兄貴とは犬猿だ。
Need the money so much that you're willing to make a deal with the devil, perhaps? Hmm?
その兄貴と全面対決しなくちゃならねえんだから、そりゃカリカリもするだろうよ。
やっぱりエヴァはクラウス兄さんとは昔から仲が悪かったんか？
本人話しませんか？そりゃもう盛大に。
昔の話は聞いても話してくれんのや。思い出したい話がないんやろな。
姉貴は昔っから容量も良くて頭が良かった。成績も良かった。それに比べ兄貴は盆栽だった。ただそばにいるだけでも十分にプレッシャーだったろう。兄貴はわざわざそれを誇示して兄貴を追い詰めてい
アホやな。なんでそない敵外心むき出しで追い詰めるんや。そういうのは容量がいいとは言わん。
た。確かに兄貴は女に生まれたことを悔やんでた。だから男というだけの理由で当主を継ぐことが決まっている兄貴が多分許せなかったんだ。だからことあるごとに自分の方が優秀であると親父に誇示していた。
お父さんは古いタイプの人や。
Perhaps why Ava wanted to get pregnant much faster than Natsui in order to get one over on the Koalas.
男女には差別的な価値観を持っとった。自己顕示の強いエヴァは少々嫌われてたんとちゃうか。
I think Gunzo just hates all of his goods.
女の学力は紅茶の砂糖にも似ていると思わないかね。ないのも味気ないが、過ぎれば紅茶の味わいを大いに損なう。
Since you can still drink black tea without sugar, he was in fact saying that there was no need for women to study. Those infuriating words were what Nissan hurled at me in my despair when I asked to go to college only to be denied by father. I protested that I need to build up proper dignity and an education as the oldest daughter in the Ushiro Mira family, making college an essential next step. But when it came down to it, Father Nissan's answers were exactly the same. How conceited for a woman. I never taken the Ushiro Mira name lightly, not once since I was born into it. And I've been even more careful not to take my father's name, Ushiro Mira Kinzo, lightly. Our family's an old one, with many traditions, but it lost its wealth and businesses in the Great Kanto earthquake, pushing it to the brink at one point. That was when Father took control of his ingenious talent, reviving it to be even greater than it had been before. Not once did I forget that I was the daughter of that great Ushiro Mira Kinzo. That's why I always made every effort to become worthy of that name. I needed dignity worthy of the Ushiro Mira family, schooling, manners, and leadership. Even if I couldn't quite reach Father's level, I deepened my knowledge in economics and finance, trying to improve myself so I could be of use to him at any time. However, in the end, father never acknowledged my efforts. To father, a woman was only meant to support a man, and nothing further than that was permissible. When was it that I came to understand that? It may have been as early as my childhood years, but I was going to have to wait until I grew up before I could truly accept it. And compared to me, you couldn't have said that Kraus, my older brother of 2 years, worked hard at all to become deserving of the usual Mira family name. He told me many times since my early childhood that he would naturally succeed father, simply because he was born a man. He kept on repeating that as though it formed an uncrossable gap between us. I couldn't stand it. Even though I always got better grades than Nissan, even though I became class president when he never manages more than vice president, even so Nissan was considered to be a appropriate successor to the usual Mira family just because he was a man. Of course you could find gender discrimination everywhere in those days. No, it was even considered about virtue in that era. During that despicable time, people said that when a woman is born, she obeys her parents. When she gets married, she obeys her husband. And when she gets old, she obeys her children. But that was exactly why I wanted to turn that on its head. In an innocent way, I kept trying to prove that I was the most fit. However, I eventually realized that all of my efforts had been doomed from the beginning.
女の学力は紅茶の砂糖にも似ていると思わないかね。ないのも味気ないが、過ぎれば紅茶の味わいを大いに損なう。
それはどういう意味よ、兄さん。
男には男にしか務められないことがあるように、女とて女にしか務められないことがあるんじゃないかね。子を産み育て一家の主を支えるのは女でなければできぬ務めだと思うがね。
Jeez.
女には勉強や仕事をする必要がないと言いたいの？
そこまでは言わんよ。無学な女など話していても疲れるだけだ。だがあまり頭が良すぎる女はもっと疲れる。お前のように自己主張の激しい女では未来の夫もさぞや苦労すると思うのだがね。
I feel like Cross is going to get kicked in the balls here in a second.
女は結婚して夫の陰にいろとそう言いたいの？余計なお世話よ。
お前が親父殿を尊敬していてその娘としてふさわしくありたいと思う気持ちは我が妹ながら見上げたものだよ。私にも尊敬できることだ。
気持ち悪い。何が私よ。この間まで俺だったくせにもう当主気取りなの？
当主は私が継ぐことに最初から決まっている。にもかかわらずお前は自分も当主になれるかのように錯覚して無駄かつ暴走した努力をしているに過ぎんのだよ。
暴走した努力ですって？私が大学院に進みたいと言い出すのがそんなにもおかしいっていうの？
ああ、おかしいね。お前は確かに栄光ある後宮家の長女だよ。やがてはその家紋を背負って父にとって最も価値ある相手と婚約することになるだろう。だがそこで求められるのは過剰な学識ではない。夫をいたわる優しい気持ちと家事能力、そして一家の長を立てる控えめな態度だ。お前にはそれが完全に欠落している。それは後宮家の令嬢として果たしてふさわしいことなのかね。
私は真相の令嬢のつもりなんかないわよ。お父様の仕事を手伝ってあげられる最高の人間でありたいと思っただけよ。
ならそれは後宮家令嬢としてふさわしくあるべきではないのかね。お前ときたらなんだね。いい年をして未だに男勝りで家事炊事はおろか男を喜ばせる化粧一つ身につけていないじゃないか。
God. I really want to punch Cross in the fucking face.
最近は喧嘩の稽古までしてるというじゃないかね。
失礼な。喧嘩じゃないわよ。武道は心の修練に最適なのよ。それに叱るべき場に出るときは十分女として気を使ってるわよ。何が言いたいのよ。女は男に仕える奴隷であれと、しゃしゃり出るなと、そう言いたいわけ？
それを認めるのはエレガントではないが。
And fucking the voice acting is perfect for Corrales because he has that goddamn sneering corporate voice, you know, of like, no, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just merely implying it.
お前の勘違いを正すには少々毒のある言葉も必要かと思うよ。だから言い切ろう。女は男に仕えるために存在する。そして男は女を養うために存在する。女の仕事は男の背中を守り、家庭を守って子を育てることだ。それは本来言葉で気づかされることではない。おのずと気づくことだ。しかしお前はいくつになってもそれを自覚しなかったな。だから社会に出る前に兄である私がその誤解を解くのだよ。感謝してほしいものだね。
それは全ての女への侮辱よ。いえ、私は自分のことを女だと思ったことなどないし、女だからと甘えたことなど一度もない。私のどこが兄さんに劣っているというの？成績も経歴も何もかも私の方が勝っていて、ただ男である以上の何も持たない兄さんが私の何を見下せるっていうのよ。
身の程をわきまえているか否かだよ。私は次の当主としての心構えを日々養っている。それは将来必ず必要になることだ。だがお前は違う。突に後ろ宮の席を失うことが決まっているくせに、見る必要のない幻を見ている。何がそんなに不満なんだ。仮に男に生まれようとも当主を継ぐのはお前ではないだろうに。お前は何がそんなにも不満で私に突っかかってくるのか。
何が不満かですって？兄さんはいつも自分は当主跡継ぎだからと私を見下して、そのくせ
What a loving family, huh? Jesus. God, it really is a fucking punch from like, it's a punch from Kinzo to fucking Krauss to Ava, then probably Rudolph to, well, all three of the siblings punching fucking Rosa, and Rosa punching Maria. It's just, oh, God. Jesus, you know, what a happy fucking family. What's my complaint, you say? I've got a billion of them, grudges, hard feelings, humiliations that I'll never forget kept flowing through the back of my mind. They all built up at the same time, coming out of my throat as a shameful moan.
何事か想像し。沈黙を尊ぶのは神だけではないぞ。
お父さん。
お父様。
He'd probably overheard our sibling fight. Father entered a cruel and unhappy phase.
クラウス、また兄弟喧嘩か。お前にはなぜに弟や妹たちを率いる貫禄が宿らぬのか。情けない。長男が聞いては切れるぞ。
In a flash, he struck Cross's face. I readied myself to be struck in the same way, but I wasn't hit.
申し訳ありません。お父さん。
お前に足りぬのは貫禄だけではない。まだまだ足りぬ。 何もかもが未熟だ。
I'm just realizing this now. But it really seems like everyone in the Ushiro Mira family is kind of trapped. Let's start at the top. Kinzo. He's trapped within his love. Or his lust for Beatrice. He's been trapped in that for many, many years, yearning for her name. Kraus is therefore trapped by Kinzo in order to become a proper head of the family. Ava is then trapped by Kraus because she wants to, in every way, succeed Kraus in order to become the head of the family, in order to make a bitter, sad, old man of a father who can only yearn for a fictional love within Beatrice, a mere painting. You know, she tries to become the best head she can. And because of that, because she wants to get one over on Kraus, she traps Natsuhi in becoming... Well, Kraus and Ava trap Natsuhi. Ava being the sister that is, you know, better than Natsuhi in every way, or she likes to be in every way from Ava's point of perspective. But Natsuhi is also trapped by Kraus, Kraus only views Natsuhi as a woman, no one else, not as an entity, but merely as a mother, a housekeeper, and all that. And because of that, Natsuhi tries to do the absolute best with the servants, and therefore she traps Shannon Shannon is trapped by the usual Mira thing of servant marrying a child, Ushiro Mira family member, because Shannon doesn't want to be furniture, but at the same time she's trapped within the constraints of the family itself. Rosa is trapped by the three siblings because she's the punching bag of that, and then being the youngest, and she feels like she's the most useless out of the siblings. And then she takes it out on her daughter, Maria, as well. God. Oh, these fucking characters. This entire family is fucked, man. Like, God. When you fucking really think about it, it's like... Shit, dude. And Jessica wants to love Cannon, but Cannon can't open up his heart because he's accepted the fate of being a furniture. And, God. It's all cages within cages within cages, you know? It's all just... All of this is just tied together in this tragic family, you know? This ultimate tragedy of an entire bloodline, including, not even just the bloodline, including the servants within this damn island as well. Holy shit, when you actually like sit back and consider all of it, it's so much. It's just tragedy on tragedy on tragedy.
にもかかわらず一人前を気取っておる。それを語るには100年早いことを肝に銘じ、研鑽に努めよ。わしをこれ以上息子の不出来で嘆かせるでないぞ。
はい。お父さんの後を継ぐにふさわしい人間になれるよう、さらに努力します。
It was as if those words were directed at me. Even when he was being yelled at by father, he was still bragging to me about how he was special, about he was his successor. I just couldn't stand it, and finally spoke what was on my mind. Even though I realized that it would be improper for a member of the Ushiro-Mira family to do such a thing.
お父様、教えてください。私の何が劣っているというのですか？私はお父様の名に恥じない人間になれるよう、今日まであらゆる勉強と努力を重ねてまいりました。どうか私にも何が劣っているのかお教えください。私はこれ以上何を身につけたならお父様に認めていただけるのですか？
またその話か。お前には何度言えばわかるのだ。お前に期待していることなど何もない。女は女らしく料理や裁縫を学んでおればいい。貴様には女の心構えがないのだ。夫に仕えようとする気心が男に尽くそうという海外しさが全く感じられぬ。何のための女なのか。後ろ宮家の令嬢であることを自覚しておるのか。なのに学びたがることは男の真似事ばかり。お前の役割はクラウスの真似事ではないのだぞ。お前には自らの役割が分かっているのか。
私は後ろ宮家の人間としてお父様の名に恥ずかしくない。
その時点でもう間違っておるわ。貴様の役割は家を出て嫁ぎ、わしにとって有益な男を連れてくることだ。そして夫に尽くし子を産み増やせ。夫の一族に褒めたたえられる良妻であれ。
Jesus.
お前に男を喜ばせる何ができるというのか。茶の作法があるというのか。料理の才能があるというのか。何もない。お前がやっているのはみんなクラウスの真似事ばかりではないか。後宮家はクラウスが継ぐ。お前がそれに不満を唱えるというのなら、それはこの私に逆らうということだ。お前は我が娘でありながら父の言うことを聞けぬというのか。出て行け。感動だ。お前に後宮など語らせぬ。感動だ感動だ。
お父さん、しっかり落ち着いてください。源氏さん、水を持ってきてもらえますか。
はい、ただいま。
エヴァ、席を外せ。本心ではないさ。私がなだめておく。
感動だ。私の言うことが危険なら感動だ。
Father was coughing pretty badly, and Nissan patted his back, as if it was a duty that was naturally his. It was so vexing for me to let him take that duty all for himself right then. If I carelessly approached Father at that moment, then I would probably be the one to get hit next. However, I furiously tried to approach Father's back. Genji blocked me.
エヴァ様、今は席をお外しになられた方が良いでしょう。親方様は今日はご機嫌がよくありません。
でも
なぜに私の息子たちはこうも不出来なのか。クラウスは貫禄が足りず、エヴァはいつまでたってもじゃじゃ馬だ。男らしい男はおらず、女らしい女もいない。
Jeez.
私の育て方がいつどこでどう間違ったのか。なぜだ源氏。私は何をいつどこでどう間違えたというのか。
親方様は何もお間違いになってはおりません。クラウス様はたくましいご子息に、エヴァ様は麗しいご令嬢に成長されました。何もお間違いにはなっておりません。
あれのどこが麗しいというのか。淑女どころか男の真似事ばかり。感動だ、感動だ。
お父さん、それは私からよくエヴァに言い聞かせたところです。エヴァもこれからは心を入れ替えてレディーとして振る舞うと約束してくれました。どうかもう少しの猶予をいただけませんか。
何がレディーだ。感動だ、感動だ。
Go quickly and read this to me. Cross gave me a look telling me that. Cages within cages, I tell you. That's the entire Shiromura family is. A cage within a cage within another cage. Now, that's come out physically, as they're all stuck on this island, doomed to die over and over again in different methods, but still always have the same fate. Death. Be it because of their greed, because of their love, because of their willingness to become, trying to impress a father who cares only for a painting. Cages within cages, I tell you. That's the tragedy upon tragedy. Did I take the wrong path, just like Father and Nissan said? True, I never studied how to be a lady. Everything I've learned was done in the hopes that I could help Father someday. But is that really true? Haven't I always been trying to compete with Nissan, with whom I've had a bad relationship since I was a young girl? Because I wanted to steal his position as successor and show him a thing or two. Every chance he gets, Nissan tells me that men should be manly and women should be womanly. I've been tormented by this unfair discrimination just because of my gender, something people are born with and can't do anything about. I resisted, endeavoring to this very day to study and prove that I'm not inferior, despite being a woman. But doesn't that mean my love of running comes entirely from a stupid complex I've got against Nissan? Father wanted me to become a lady with whom he could go out in public and not be embarrassed. Did I betray his hopes, earning good grades and threatening Nissan just to satisfy our childhood resentment? Who the hell is this?
私が後宮家の跡継ぎになるんだって、あなたは私に誓ったわ。あんたは。
The one whispering to me was the me of my years as a young girl, born inside the heart on the day I made that oath. That's right. She was my only ally. When things got difficult, when I felt like I was about to get crushed by it all, she would always quietly appear and support me. When I went into roadblocks and despaired, she would always appear and support me. When I grew up and the memories of my childhood years faded, I also started to forget my conversations with her.
私、後宮エヴァは絶対に後宮家の当主になるの。そして、あのムカつく高慢ちきなクラウスを見返してやるの。そのために一緒に頑張ろうって、あの日私たちは約束したわ。そうね、約束したわ。私は後宮家の当主跡継ぎになるって、あの日にね。
On that day, when I became overcome with a sadness, wondering why I was even alive, you appeared from inside me and lent me your strength.
お父様に認められたかった。兄さんの鼻を明かしてやりたかった。そうすれば惨めな自分に決別ができると信じていたわ。
For a time, I truly believed that my life had no purpose other than to be looked down upon by Nissan. It's painful just remembering those days. There a wound, a crack inside my heart. She taught me how to sew up that wound. I turned my anger into effort and improved myself, trying to become a person more worthy of the headship than Klaus was. Trying to triumph over him by making father accept me, it was my perfect revenge. I was vaguely aware that a woman couldn't possibly become the family head, but I thought that maybe if I could prove myself valuable enough to overturn that premise, then surely even father would select me to be his successor. If that happened, then I'd be able to have the greatest, most perfect revenge against Nissan, who had always acted like his succession to the headship was completely inevitable.
そうすれば私たちの心の傷は癒えるの。その日まで頑張ろうって誓い合ったわ。なのにあなたはその約束を破るの？クズ、育児なし、へそかんで死んじゃえば？
Even though she looked like me as a kid, she was still another me. Her tongue was sharp because it was mine.
自分に言われても腹が立つわね。そこまでボロクソに言われる筋合いはないわ。ならばその怒りを勉強に費やしましょうよ。怒りを力に変えるのが私の魔法。この力で何度もあなたの窮地を救い、あなたはなせないはずのことを成し遂げてきた。私の魔法がある限り、あなたにできないことなどありはしないわ。そうね。怒りはいつも私の原動力だったわ。いつからそれを忘れてしまったのかしら。
So I want to guess episode 4 we're going to be focusing on Klaus.
私を思い出せたなら、あの魔法の力は再び私たちのもの。さあ、その怒りを力に変えて、もっともっと勉強に励みましょう。きっと私たちにはまだまだ勉強が足りないのよ。大学院に進んでもっといっぱい勉強して、優れた成績を出してクラウスを追い詰めてやりましょう。あいつ何でもなさそうな顔してるけど、きっと心は相当追い詰められてるわ。早く身の程を思い知って死んじゃえばいいのに。そうすれば私たちが当主になれる。ルドルフは辞退してくれるわ。あの子は私には逆らえないもの。よして、もうこれ以上勉強してもお父様は私を認めてくれないのよ。どうして？お父様は私に女らしくしろと言っているのよ。私がどれだけ頑張ろうと、女である限り、たとえ私が兄さんより先に生まれていたとしても、私に当主を譲ることはないのよ。私がどれだけ努力を重ねようとも、私は女以上の何者にもなれない。認められない。何の努力もしない兄さんを超えられない。永遠に見下され続ける。お父様もクラウスも最低の男尊主義者だわ。早く死んじゃえばいいのに。
She cursed them for my sake. Words that I couldn't say so easily she said for me. Even though I understand that she's just another part of myself inside of me, I feel like she's the only ally I have who can sympathize with me. However, while sympathy might do a lot to calm my heart, it won't do anything to improve my current situation. In the end, she can only console me for however long it takes me to be dejected by reality before I finally accept it.
ありがとう。もう結構よ。こうとなったら お父様が驚くような淑女になってやるわ。兄さんなんかとは比べ物にならない立派な男を探して。
ダメ、そんなの。
She rejected my timid thoughts. I understand. Because she is me, I understand.
お父様は少なくとも今は女に当主を継がせないと言っている。でもそれすらも所詮はお父様が決めたルールでしかないの。お父様が決めた以上、それを破棄できるのもお父様。人の気持ちなど浜のマサゴが尽きるよりはるかに早く変わるわ。クラウスが愚鈍な男であることは私たちが立証しなくてもやがてお父様も理解する。その時男女の境のくだらない垣根はそれを設けたお父様によって取り払われるの。その日は必ず来るわ。どうして必ずなんて言えるのよ。それが私の魔法だから。あなたが信じてくれさえすればこの魔法は必ず奇跡を呼ぶの。
If you just believe.
私の魔法の源はあなたの信じる心だけ。
If I use this magic, then surely I'll never have to doubt until the day I die that I'll eventually become the head. But I don't know if that's the right for Ushiwo Mira Eva. Maybe I should aim to become the kind of lady father wants, someone who can proudly participate in high society. And if I'm reborn, maybe father will change his opinion of me. Maybe I can find my own lifestyle just as Nissan has found his. And anyway, I just can't imagine my stubborn father choosing a woman like me as the head. Especially if it means skipping over Klaus.
信じないの？あのね、私思ったの。私には当主は告げないかもしれないけれど、私は女で子を産むことができるわ。そして兄さんには未だ縁談もない。もし兄さんに子供ができず、私だけが子供を産めたなら、兄さんの次の当主は私の子供ということになるでしょ。それはつまり私が兄さんから当主の座を奪うのと同じ意味にならないかしら。本気で言ってるの？ええ、本気よ。少女時代からの決意を捨てるのは確かにとても悲しいこと。私の少女時代そのものであるあなたを裏切るのは、私でもそれが一番現実的なのよ。
In that moment, my body changed, and I was no longer myself from back then, but as I am now, a wife and mother. Yes, this is a dream. Even so, she still possessed the same ambition and desire as always. She argued back with her expression displaying clear displeasure at this change.
夢を捨てるの？そして私も捨てるの？
捨てるんじゃない。私も大人になってあなたと決別する日が来たということよ。
そうね。エヴァはもう大人になったわ。魔法の使い方さえ忘れてしまった。今は一児の母。自ら夢を叶える魔法を忘れ去って、その夢を息子に押し付けている。自らの人生をお父様やクラウスによってめちゃくちゃにされたくせに、あなたも自らの夢を息子に押し付けてめちゃくちゃにしようとしているの。それが大人というものなの？
ジョージはどこに出しても恥ずかしくない自慢の息子よ。私には叶えられなかった夢をジョージなら叶えられるかもしれない。ジェシカなんて成績も貧困も不良じゃない。それに女なのよ。ジェシカさえ辞退してくれればジョージが跡継ぎになることだって。
And it becomes flipped, huh? Even seeing it was painful. I might just forcing my own regrets onto George. It's not like I have any right to look on Jessica with scorn. Wasn't I just horrible for hitting her with the same words that had caused me so much suffering? I understand. I understand. The desire to triumph over my brother is part of my own personal revenge. I can't use George for that.
だから私自らが復讐するわ。ルドルフとローザを味方に兄さんから金をせしめようという計画があるの。きっと一矢報いることができるわ。何しろ兄さんがお父様の資産をつまみ食いしているのは確かなんだから。
つまんない計画。そんなのさっさとやめて泣き寝入りでもしちゃえば。私たちは後ろ宮家の当主になるの。その夢をごまかさないで。だから絶対に叶えられると私を信じて。私の魔法を信じて。
信じたら魔法は力を持つのかしら。
うん。私の魔法はどんな願いも必ず叶えるの。
Huh.
信じるわ。信じるから、その魔法で奇跡を起こして。そうでなくちゃ私の心の傷は永久に癒されない。
The hole in my heart will never heal. That sounds very familiar to last time with Rosa.
ならよく聞いて。私の魔法の言葉、そしてそれを理解して。謎が解けたなら私たちは後ろ宮家の当主になれるの。
I was thinking like, this could be Beatrice. This could be, but that confirmed it.
だから耳を澄ましてよく聞いて。
Behold the sweet fish river running through my beloved hometown. You who seek the golden land, follow its path downstream in search of the key. And thus, a deal with the devil has been made.
エヴァ姉さん、そろそろ着くみたいですよ。
When Kyrie shook her shoulders, Ava jumped and awoke from her doze.
ごめんなさいね。寝ぼけてたわ。驚かせてしまってごめんなさいね。
エヴァおばさん、ぐっすりでしたね。朝はだいぶ早かったんすか？
まあね。恥ずかしいところを見せちゃったわ。ごめんなさい。
God. I'm so right with that theory about each episode being about one of the siblings making a deal with Beatrice. I'm so fucking right, dude. That just confirmed it for me, man. That's so... Oh.
眠れるくらい余裕があるのは大したもんだぜ。バートラなんかずっと落ちるーったの沈むーったの全く退屈しないやつだぜ。
うるせえな。人間誰しも苦手の一つや二つくらいあるもんだぜ。
Mine just happens to be boats. Fedor and Jessica came in messing around. Rudolph also made a face as if asking, "Are you okay?"
しっかりしろよ。親父たちの顔を見れば眠気もすっ飛ぶさ。
I wonder what the hole in Rudolph's heart is. Because he's the most, like... His trauma isn't as... surface level, you know? Because as with... Well, I mean, we just saw Ava's trauma. But with Rose and Kraus, we can kind of get a... Well, with Kraus, we can kind of get a basic idea of what his trauma is of trying to succeed his father, who, let's face it, fucking never believed in him, you know? Never believed in any of his children.
せいぜいお互い頑張ろうぜ。
So what is Rudolph's trauma? What is his hole in his heart?
そうね。特に今年はしっかりしないとね。
だね。お互いケツの穴を引き締めて帰ろうぜ。
Hell yeah. Rudolph said these strict words in a small voice that only Ava could hear. Okay, yeah. Failure would not be tolerated in this year's family conference. All of their companies were hanging in balance. Even Rudolph's face looked a little tense. Ava's expression probably looked tense as well.
母さん、荷物を持つよ。甲板に上がろう。
ありがとう。ジョージは本当に気が利くわね。
どうして急にお礼なんか。母さんらしくもない。
エヴァ、ジョージ、到着やで。荷物をまとめるんや。
こらマリア、転ぶから走るのをやめなさい。
It seemed Maria was already getting excited. She ran circles around Hideyoshi, escaping from Rosa, who was trying to catch her.
どうしたの母さん。具合悪いの？
ジョージ、
Beloved key, hometown, yeah.
荷物を持って先に行ってなさい。母さんは貧血だろ。わしが肩を貸すわ。
そう。わかったよ。先に行ってるよ。
Something odd in Ava's expression toward Hideyoshi that had been a pleasant awakening, so he made George go on ahead. Rudolph's family and Rosa's family also went up onto the deck, leaving only Ava and Hideyoshi inside the boat. Ava had a vague expression on her face, as though she still hadn't been able to escape from her daydream.
どないしたんや。神妙な顔して。
私、ジョージを自分の復讐の道具にしてたんじゃないかしら。私の兄さんに対する子供じみた敵対心のせいで、あの子の人生を自分のおもちゃにしてしまってはいないかしら。ああ、私はなんてこと、なんてことを。
そんなことあらへん。ジョージはどこに出しても恥ずかしゅうないわしらの自慢の息子や。仮にエヴァの思惑が多少混じっとったとしても結果オーライっちゅうもんやないか。エヴァはなんも悪うない。むしろジョージは厳しくしつけてくれたと感謝しとるくらいやで。
本当にねえ、本当ジョージは私のこと嫌な母さんだと思ってないかしら。ねえねえねえねえ。
そんなことただの一度も口にしたことあらへんで。エヴァの杞憂や。
God, I have to say this once more. Here, Ryukushio 7 is fantastic at writing human characters. He's absolutely fantastic in writing them. Because, God, even for all of their faults, you can still sympathize with them, you know? You can still understand their struggles, you know? I guess yeah, it's the same thing with Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, which I've recently watched through, which is also fantastic at writing such human characters as well, you know? Just, there's so many faults, but at the same time, you can't help but, you can't just hate them because they're human, you know?
秀吉様皆様下船なさっておりますよ。 おや、何か落とし物ですか？お手伝いしましょうか？
Kumasawa had come to check on them when they hadn't gone up to the deck. Hideyoshi hid Ava behind his back so their expression wouldn't be seen.
ああ、すまんな。ちょっとわしのネクタイピンがいかれてもうてな。もう大丈夫や。すぐ行くで。外で待っててや。
そうですか。それでは表でお待ちいたしております。
Even though she didn't really understand, Kumasawa realized that something had come up and disappeared so that she didn't trouble them further. If they stayed here any longer, they would probably make everyone else worry too.
そろそろ行こうか。ジョージたちを心配させてまうで。
私本当にジョージに恨まれてない？
ああ、恨まれてなんかあらへん。むしろ感謝しとるぞ。悪い夢でうなされたんか。また。
Hideyoshi knew that Ava was often tormented by nightmares. And they always grew more marked in the days leading up to the family conference. Hideyoshi knew that Ava's relationship with Kraus was still full of antagonism to the point of being traumatic. And that she still couldn't let go of the feelings she'd had as a child.
それは夢や。わしが一緒にいる。こうして手をギュッと握っとったら、そんな夢もどっか行ってしまうで。な？ほら。
痛いわ。ありがとう。もう平気よ。降りましょう。
ああ。降りようか。みんな待たせてるで。
ごめんなさい。
ん？
さっきあなたのタバコの煙のこと怒鳴ってごめんなさい。
普段ならそんなことで謝らんくせに。悪い夢見た後のお前は気弱でいかん。気にするなや。お前に煙が届いていることを気づかんかったわしが悪いんや。
私のこと嫌いになった？
ならんならん。
God, this really is fucking pulling at the heartstrings. God damn it. God, every fucking time, man. Every fucking time it hurts. God damn it.
この程度で嫌いなんて言うとったら3日もたんで。ささ、たったたった。折れるで、折れるで。
秀吉様、エヴァ様、大丈夫ですか？お体が優れませんか？
This time it was Goda. It looked like they kept everyone waiting too long after all. When even Ava had to stand up without grumbling now, she had to stop forcing her bad mood onto her husband and causing him any more trouble. Because that wasn't something a good wife would do.
大丈夫ですか？体調が気になられるようでしたら、南條先生をお呼びしましょうか。
ありがとう。ちょっと貧血気味でね。もう大丈夫よ。
婦人病中やっちゃ。気にせんといてや。
もうそんなの人に言わないでよ。恥ずかしいわ。
おお、すまんすまん。
Ava elbowed Hideyoshi in the gut. But that time her normal expression had returned, which allowed Hideyoshi to relax a little. The bright sunlight outside almost made her dizzy. A small plank for getting off the boat was lowered, and Goda was waiting there, smiling, ready to lend them a hand.
どうぞエヴァ様。お手を。
ありがとう。
六軒島へようこそいらっしゃいました。
おかえりなさい。
Oh, her inner self. When she left the boat, it seemed to Ava as though she heard the voice of her young self. No, it hadn't seemed that way. Someone had told her, welcome back. After becoming a shameless adult, the voice of her young self was distant.
私は何のために生きてるの？何をどうすれば私はこの猛襲から解き放たれるというの？
Hideyoshi heard her talking to herself. When Hideyoshi held on tightly to Ava's shoulders, his firmness alone told her that there was no need to say any more. Maybe it was because the typhoon was getting closer. The lively cries of the seagulls, which usually greeted them when they arrived, couldn't be heard at all. My preparations are already complete. Man, that's a big old sky.
6年前のことか。
You know what? I want to end this things here. It's a bit of a shorter episode, aka by like 5 minutes or whatever. But I feel like this is a good stopping point before we get into more of the episode. But yes, I really do think this confirms my theory of that each question episode at least is that one of the siblings makes a deal with Beatrice, things go wrong, stuff happens, you know. First was Rudolph, second was Rosa, now third is Ava. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this type of content, hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, hit the like button. When you tell me something, put that in comments below. And check out the Discord server I hang out in, or my church. Check the description below. Yeah, this has been Voidlego. I'll see you guys next time. See ya!